So I am here now in a field in the middle of Bulgaria. Very beautiful, between the woods. And this field is infested by Colorado cavers, Colorado beetles. So these are the larvae that you can see. These are next year, or like they will grow soon, fall down to the ground, bury into it, and then become adults. And here are adults. So they're mating now. And after they've mated, they will lay eggs, which then eventually, after 2 weeks or so, the eggs become very small larvae, of which I can find many by the sides. Some plants are completely infected, some not. Yeah, this. So here you have all the little red dots. So they are developing. They're just hatched baby larvae, and then they have multiple stages, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so you can. It's very easy to see them if you have a big one. Let's just look for a row, because I've seen many here. Here I think there is one, the red. See there, yeah. So this one has some big ones. You can see, very easy to see. So yeah, if the camera can see it there, then you can obviously shoot it. So let's say we go at this speed over the field, and we see them. Here you can see them. Here obviously you can see them. There. So this field is really infected all over. So I don't know. This is not good for their potato production. Here they're eating. So maybe they will spray again soon, or this is like the second generation of larvae. Not seeing them anymore here. So deeper into the field, I'm not seeing here. It's actually quite easy to see a whole. They exist in clusters, right? So this is easy to see. So basically, filtering. I think it's possible to. Well, in the AI algorithm, for sure, it's very easy to filter for these kind of patterns, and then you can fly towards them and kill them. The big ones. Here you have an adult. It's hiding here. And here you have some more larvae. This field is really full. Here, this is not good. Here, big ones. It's actually the big ones that do damage. They eat the plant. So if you would just pass by and always kill the big ones, we can see are most very visible from the side, and it's not like they're hidden in invisible places. So you can see they actually sit on top of the plants. Right, so you can see they're quite up top. I mean, maybe this one, but they're in the end they're always, depends a bit on temperature and so here you can see an adult. Of course, if you can spot all the adults in time, then you have no larvae. So then you have no eggs. You can see them. You can see quite through the foliage. You can see them. You can see an adult and some big larvae infected with smaller larvae. Smaller larvae are actually sensitive to pesticides, but the adults and the big larvae are not. They're much stronger, their physiology. And this is the result. This is a plant that is being eaten, and eventually it will die. It will have no leaves, the plant, and when it has no leaves, it will no longer produce potatoes. This plant is actually savable. If you would remove them all or kill them with a laser or something, then the plant will be saved and the tubers are not affected. And then you have probably biological. This is, you see, a plant that has further evolved. So yeah, it's best to kill all these big ones, and then they cannot be adults anymore, and then the cycle stops. So here you can see they're all on top, right? So let me just look a little bit down. Like if you look at the percentage that is down below at the plants, it's very, very rare. They like to be on top. They like to sit on the. If I look from the side, you can see that most of them are accessible from the top here as well. So if I look, see, there's almost none. They're always like to sit on top. These ones are mating. You can see they're mating on top of the plant. Of course, it happens that one is by the side of the plant, but in general, they like to be. They're reachable from light. So if a drone would fly around this place, imagine you're a drone, you fly around, then maybe you can do a tour like this and you can shoot them all. Also, you don't need to, you can easily come back. So if you know one, if you find one in a plant, there's a very big chance there are multiple. And this also, yeah, so you know you should visit it again. Maybe you can actually maybe do a side view. It shows very clearly distribution of the beetles on the upper side of the plant versus the lower sides of the plant. You can see that they actually prefer the higher sides of the plant. And of course, missing one doesn't really matter. It's about the statistical, getting them statistically. Maybe here, I just want to check if there are some on the sides. Like this plant is not infected. I'm just making some. This plant seems to be 100% clean, except maybe these little ones. Are the little ones? As these could be. Yep, these are little ones. So they are still. So here it's really all over. But this field is, yeah. If you stay on the field on top in the beginning, you will not get. Yeah, if you kill the adults continuously, then you will not have. You will not have eggs. And I mean, you have time. As a human, I could go by and just clean up every plant, take some time. Puff this adult, you see it here, it's dead now. Of course, everything that you see is dead. Right? Then it's not that difficult to clean them all up. This is nice. So this is what the people used to actually do. They walk the field every day and they remove them all. So here you see a few, you just shoot them with the laser. It takes about 30 milliseconds to position the mirror to a specific location, and then you deliver the energy for again maybe 30 milliseconds and then it's dead. This technology, photonic insecticides, is being developed in Japan and also in Europe. You can see, so you can just go around and shoot most of them, even from the side. You could put a little light that can shoot sideways. Normally they're more on the outskirts of the field, like the side and in the middle. So basically, in theory, if I go to the middle, this field is very infected. But anyway, let's just take some middle plants. This should be less. Here you can see they are, in this case, on the side more. But it depends on the temperature and the sun. So basically now, they no longer have a reason to be on top of the plant. If the sun is going down, so it's not too strong, then they will be on top of the plant because they like to grow. And yeah, more heat means you grow faster, which is, you have a higher chance of survival. Here you can see they're quite visible. So this gives us a real view. So if I kind of also slowly, this is another kind of, I like this, this is intercropping. This is another kind of plant. This is not a potato plant. I don't know, this is good. Some other kind of thing he planted. I presume this is a biological field because there are so many beetles. So this is maybe just from local people that don't care and just prefer insecticide-free food. Here we go. This plant is a bit infected. This one seems clean. It's clean. So yeah, it's normally regional in the field, and they enter the field by the sides. Because, well, it depends of course on the type of cropping that it. Normally they do a crop rotation. This means they plant potatoes on one field, but the next year they will not plant potatoes on that same field. They will plant it on another field. Because in the year where you plant potatoes, that's where the beetles go into the ground. So that's where they will come out of the ground in the spring, and then they will find the closest potato plants, because that's their favorite food to eat. Also eat tomatoes, and I think aubergine. And when they do that, well, basically, if you can create some distance between the emerging beetles, the adults, where they can eat and put their eggs. This is a fly. This is something else. But then you will have less beetles. So, but they arrive then in the field, and then you can. They arrive from the sides and they're very hungry. So usually they go to the first plants they meet, which is on the side of the field, and that's where they feed for a few days. So initially the adults will be on the sides of the field. And you can see this is a typical infected potato field, and if you let them go free, if you don't do anything, eventually you will have this, and then you no longer have potatoes. This is actually responsible, I believe, for the Great Famine in the Irish times. This are a potato blight, which is a fungal infection. The nature here is really, really beautiful, very peaceful. And adults. So because you can see adults, it's clear that you are multiple cycles in. So you have here what you don't in general want, because it's very difficult to manage with pesticides, because you have adults, you have complete adults, right? So with the adult beetle, you have the last stage of larva, and then you also have first stages of larva, so they're very tiny, minuscule larva, and then you also presumably have eggs, because the adults are laying eggs. So you have all types of the stages of the beetle, and that makes it very difficult to combat, because not all pesticides work for all stages. Well, and they only work basically pesticides for they don't work for eggs, and they don't work for adults. They only work for early stage larvae. Some adults, you can clearly see them. So if you look at this, would there be another one? Maybe, but in general they will be on top of the plant. See again, on top of the plant, on top of the plant. I like this. This field is very good illustration of a real field scenario. So let's say we fly by with a drone. I don't know how easily you can spot them. I think should be doable, even if I do slow motion. But of course, you have event cameras that can see now. I called with the company that makes the event cameras, Protégé, and they have drones that can use them to see at 500 kilometers per hour. So basically you have things you can fly by and detect all of this. You can see it like this, right? Even if I move fast, just the blob of orange, I mean, of course is quite easily detectable. Let's see actually the maximum distance that I can see this beetle with so I'm gonna just look at that one and can observe the footage later. Can I see the beetle from here? I mean, in the end that depends on resolution. And the resolution is going to get stronger, so that means you can fly for higher up. They can already detect the beetles actually from drones from quite high up, for 10 meters or something. So they can definitely scout a field for and know where the adults or the larvae are, and then send specific spray drones or laser drones to combat them. The nice thing actually to keep a small drone in the air, such as these DJI Mini, you need about 30 watts. So basically 1 square meter of solar panel can keep about 3-4 drones in the air permanently. So the energy requirements of a small drone are very, very, very low. And then also to shoot the beetles, you need about 1 to 2 joules, depending on the stage of the beetle, how well the beam is focused. To give you an idea what a joule is, if you put one of those electric heaters in the winter when you're cold, and you put one of those things, the fan with heated air that blows at you. Let's say that is like position 1 is usually 1000 watts, position 2 is 2000 watts. These is usually their 2 settings that they have. If you put it on position 1, so it's like, medium warm air, and that blows at you for 1 second, that's it's using 1000 watts, so that means in 1 second it consumes 1000 joules. So that's about 1000 shots. So 1 second of this heater that's blowing at you is 1000 beetles dead. That's an easy way to think about it. So yeah, every second on a 400 watt solar panel is about 400 shots that you can use to kill 400. So 400 beetles per second is the energy that the solar panel is generating. So also the energy requirements are very, very low, much lower than the energy requirements needed to generate the pesticide or transport them, or then eventually distribute them in the field. And then again, because you don't, well, a positive side effect actually, because you're not putting chemicals on the field, the soil actually becomes better, healthier. You have a higher bacterial content in the soil, which means that you have more nutrients in the plant, which you then eventually eat, but also absorbs CO2 from the atmosphere. And since the land itself is the biggest CO2 store that we have on the planet, there's actually about, I believe, I'm doubting now, but I believe about 2 times the amount of CO2 in the soil in the land than there is in the atmosphere. So increasing this by a few percentage has a huge amount of effect of reducing CO2. And yeah, so now you have an idea of Colorado beetles in a random field in Bulgaria.